So we have this big setup here today. I know, I got lights the other day, so I brought lights because you never can see anybody up here. So I thought, we'll try it. So if you guys think it's great, we'll keep doing it. It seemed easy enough to set up. So, all right. So I'm really excited today to have Madeline Sklar here. She has been with us before for like a panel and some other things, and many of you, I think, know her in the community. But right now, she's really growing in her business. She's doing some really amazing things. And one of the things that she, of course, started way back in 1996 was GoGirlsMusic.com. It was an online, it is still an online community of female musicians. She just stepped down from that role just in the last month, so she can pursue her consulting and like her entire social media side of her business, because that's really been growing. And part of that has been that she was chosen this year as a mentee, by Michael Seltzner. He's the publisher of Social Media Examiner. I don't know if you guys are aware of what that is, but if you don't know what it is, you should add it to your reading list because they have a lot of amazing articles every single day about how to improve your social media, and they're very well known. And he took her on as his only mentee for this year, so like it's a pretty big deal, and I'm excited for her. So yay for Houston! Let's put Houston on the map, no doubt. Not that we weren't on the map already. Thank you very much. Really put us on the map. So that being said, I wanted to ask her here to talk to us a little bit about Twitter. I think we kind of talk about Facebook a lot. And the reason we do is because obviously Facebook is sort of the big thing right now. But Twitter still has like some amazing opportunities. And one of the things, I don't know if you all feel this way, but I've been on Twitter since 2007. And I was starting to feel a little bit like nobody talked to you there anymore. I don't know, how many of you feel like that? Just a little bit like, I'm not really sure how to get a community started on Twitter. Like it's kind of easy on Facebook, and it's difficult sometimes to figure out exactly what the combination is to open up the community stuff on Twitter, and really Madeline's done that. She has like a vibrant community on Twitter, and I've been like kind of watching her and like following along, and in the last couple of months, just by following along with what you're going to learn today, I've like added at least 2,000 followers to my Twitter account, and I've talked on Twitter more with people than I've talked with people in the last couple of years, let's just say that. And I used to be a Twitter only girl. So I'm really excited to reinvigorate Twitter, and so I kind of want to talk about that today. So welcome, Madeline. And today I'd also like you to make sure that you're using the SMVHOU hashtag and tweet. Let's show them we can also trend on Twitter today, which we usually do. So you guys are awesome. And we are going to also talk a little bit and Madeline, you want to follow Madeline, and her Twitter handle is MADALYNSKLAR. Hopefully you can grab it. You can also grab it off mine at KamiChat, KAMICHAT. I've tweeted about her extensively in the last hour or so, so you should be able to find it. So why are you so excited about Twitter, Madeline? Why like drop everything and like look at Twitter like this?
Well, first of all, good morning, everybody. Thank you all so much for having me, Cami. Twitter to me is an amazing tool because when I get on there, I find so many people to connect with. And even looking around in the room here, I see people in here that I've connected with, spent time talking to, and it's more than just the what did I have for breakfast, which, when we all started, that's what we saw it as, is this place where, well, I can only do 140 characters, what can I possibly talk about? It's not long form. And I like the short form. That works for me. I know it doesn't work for everybody, but there are ways to make it work for you. But I'm most excited about the people I meet on there. I mean, I connect with people like Gary Vaynerchuk. Anybody here know who Gary Vaynerchuk is? He has written several books on social media. He has a big social media agency. This guy is like the social media guy. His username is Gary V, V-E-E. And I've chatted with him on Twitter. That's something that would not happen on Facebook. We can't connect with big celebrities, people of influence on Facebook. Maybe some of us do, but it's difficult. What I find with Twitter is that if they're active on Twitter and I reach out to them, I have a really good chance of making that connection. I've talked with rock stars, I've talked with authors, I've talked with top social media people. I have a podcast right now called Twitter Smarter. I use that hashtag Twitter Smarter for a lot of things that I do. And with all of the people that I have as a guest, and I mean, we're talking Mark Smith, Pat Flynn, Mark Schaefer, a lot of big names in social media. I connected with all of them on Twitter first and got them interested in my podcast. That to me is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I agree. And one of the things that I thought was really great about what you just said was that you can connect with people there easier than you can, say, on Facebook or even something like LinkedIn, because they're just there to talk and hang out. If somebody's really active there, they're going to do that. So how do you do that? I mean, is it because you have like so many followers, which you do, that they are willing to talk to you, or can you give us some tips or hints about how to connect with people like that on Twitter?
Absolutely. Now, if you have a lot of followers, that will help. I remember when I first hit the 10,000 mark, I remember people taking way more notice of me. And for those of you here that are below 10,000, have all this experience doing it. So I highly recommend checking out. You can just go to Google and type in Twitter chats, and there's several different directories that will have listings of all different types of chats. Also word of mouth, and a lot of people are writing articles about their favorite chats. And should we list a few chats that we like?
Yeah, and tell them when yours is. You haven't said your time.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I should be promoting mine, right? Yeah, so mine, if you want to check it out, Twitter Smarter, so hashtag Twitter Smarter, is every Thursday at 12 p.m. Central. And it goes for about an hour. And if you have not been on a Twitter chat, the thing you got to keep in mind is that it all revolves around the hashtag. So if you want to come on and chat with us, you have to put the hashtag in, because we're all just hyper-focused on the hashtag. And so what a lot of new people will do is they'll jump on, they'll do the hashtag the first time, and they're following along, and they're tweeting, and we don't know they're tweeting. And then at the end, they're like, oh man, I forgot to put my hashtag in, and don't see my tweets. So that happens a lot. But there's a great website you can use that will help tremendously. It's called TweetChat. So if you go to tweetchat.com, I highly recommend that for any Twitter chat you go to, because what it does is you go in, you log in, it'll pop up your little Twitter, you just hit OK and to authorize it. And then what it does is it brings up a page, and during a live Twitter chat, the tweets just pop right up. You can just sit there and be a lurker and just watch the conversation. And there's always lurkers. People are usually nervous or don't know what to say. I always say, look, at least introduce yourself and say hi so we know you're there. I had that happen yesterday on one of my Twitter Smarter chat. Somebody I knew popped in at the beginning, and she said, I just wanted y'all to know I was here. And then she said, I lurked the rest of the time. I didn't have anything to contribute, so I just watched and learned. So when you're using tweetchat.com, at the very top, there'll be a box, and you can tweet. So you can watch the tweets, you can tweet at the top, and the beauty of this, it will automatically put the hashtag in for you. So you don't have to go to twitter.com and exactly remember, or Hootsuite. Hootsuite can be great, but you'll still have to remember to put the hashtag in. So try tweetchat.com and you might like it. There's also another one, because sometimes TweetChat gets a little wonky, and sometimes I'm not a fan of 12, so I don't really care for 12. The other one I like is called tchat.io. Yeah, so the letter T, chat.io. I use that as a backup. If TweetChat's not working, I'll switch over to TChat. I highly recommend these because it just makes it so much easier to participate.
It's also great if you're hosting one. Yeah?
Absolutely.
It helps you keep up with it. There's a lot. So along with the things we're talking about, all these great things we're telling people to do, can we talk a little about what not to do? Because I think that's just as important as what to do. So can you tell us some of the things that you find that people do that maybe they should change their evil ways?
There's a really big one, and we're not going to call you out on it, but the big one is the auto DMs. And I'm sure there are plenty of you here that are like, yes, I hate those auto DMs because it really ruins the inbox
Could you say what a
experience.
DM is for those that don't
Oh
know?
yeah, I'm good at that, definitely.
What is it actually called?
DM is short for direct message. And so if somebody were to send you a direct message, there is a box for that. You have an inbox for your direct messages, just like the way Facebook has, the private messages. And people will typically use a service like Crowdfire is one that's real popular. It used to be called justunfollow.com. Now it's called Crowdfire. And you can set up on your account for it to do the auto DM. Do not do that. A lot of people will unfollow you if you do that. It's very impersonal. When you are connecting with somebody, if you're tweeting me, tweet me. Don't set up something ahead of time that's impersonal, that's going to automatically generate and come out to me. So I see a lot of people do that when they set up so that when you follow someone, then it automatically sends out that DM to somebody, that direct message. So I highly recommend you not do that. Twitter is all about connecting with people. We like to call it the cocktail party. And so as the cocktail party, you want to connect with people, talk to people, and you just don't want to set up something that's automated. There is a place for automation. I'm sure we're going to talk about. Very, very important.
And Canva does that too. See, I said Canva again. Ooh, it's a drinking game. Every time I say Canva, you guys drink. One swig of coffee for every time. All right. Sorry. Okay, so let me just get into that a little bit too, because now we're talking about the do's. And one of the most important things for Twitter is obviously content. And what kinds of content are working on Twitter right now. There's a lot of ways you can approach content on Twitter, obviously. So can you talk a little bit about curating and like sort of how you do that? I'd like you to talk about your process. And let's start with that. Let's start with what you do. So when you sit down at the computer in the morning and you're like, I got to get some stuff together for Twitter today, tell us what you do.
I have a process, and you guys are welcome to copy what I do. What's interesting, the next episode of my podcast with Maury Smith, I was just re-listening to it yesterday, and one of the things she talks about is content curation, and she talks about other people's content, and she referred to it as OPC. And I think we're going to start seeing that a lot, OPC. I think that's like the new buzzword,
OPC.
Because Maury Smith is putting that out there. So other people's content is okay. Like if you're a blogger and you're posting your articles, it's okay to post other people's articles too. And it's a great way to build up some content to put out there for other people to see. So I'm really big on that. I don't blog as much as I used to. I'm trying to get back. Yeah, I'm trying to get back into that. That's one of the reasons why I stepped down from Go-Go's music, is because I've been juggling two businesses for far too long. And I want to spend more time on being the social media consultant and Twitter marketing influencer and writing more about it. But I go and I curate other people's content. So the way my process works is I use Feedly, and Feedly is a great app you can use. You can go on the website and use it, and they also have an app for your phone. And so it's just feedly.com, F as in Frank, EEDLY, and it's an RSS reader. And so you know how when you're finding different blogs and places and you want to do the RSS and put them all in one place, that's what Feedly is for. And what's great about it is that you can categorize it, and so it can make it really helpful. So like, for instance, I have a client that is a very specific topic, so I have a category in my Feedly, so when I'm working on that client, I go just to that one category, and I'll see all the articles that pertain to their business. And so that helps me do what I call my motto, work smarter, not harder. So I look at Feedly to go pull articles, and then I also, Buffer allows you to put in an RSS feed. And so you can put a variety. If you're using Buffer like I do, you use it a lot, there's a spot on there for feeds. And so you go and you put the different RSS feeds into it from the different blogs that you read, and that makes it really easy to go and put them into Buffer for Twitter, or you can also use Buffer for LinkedIn and Facebook. Another one I use is called Nuzzle, N-U-Z-Z-E-L, nuzzle.com. Great content curation site. What I like about theirs is that it pulls articles that your friends are reading and posting. And then you can also take your Twitter lists and you can do it based off the Twitter list. And I think that's really brilliant and it's different. And I think that's something that really sets them apart. So for instance, I have a Twitter list of all the people I've interviewed for my podcast. And it is building up to be a really great list of people. So I can just go to that list and Nuzzle, and it will go pull and show me all the articles that they're sharing. And it looks for the ones that are being shared consistently by a certain number of people. Like this one was done by 5 people on that list. So, okay, well that's a pretty popular article then. So it's helping me find articles that people are interested in. And then there's another one that I'm absolutely in love with. I found out from Peg Fitzpatrick. I don't know if anybody here is familiar. Peg Fitzpatrick co-wrote a book with Guy Kawasaki called The Art of Social Media.
Oh yeah, this
is
has like become huge.
Yeah. So when I interviewed her for my podcast, another question I asked is, what are your favorite tools? And she had mentioned juice, like you're drinking juice here, right? I had never heard of this. I was fascinated, so I went and found it. It's put on by the people over at paper.li. You always see that paper.li all over, which, yeah, not a fan of. But juice is pretty amazing. So if you go over to paper.li online, you'll find juice. I think the actual webpage might be juice.li, so you can try that. This app is really amazing. It's on my phone. I think it's just an iOS app. I don't know if they have Android. But what it does is, you let them know what categories, what you're interested in. Mine's set up for social media. So once a day, it will let you have 10 articles that are all related to the topic. And you go in there and you just pick and choose what you want. Many times I'll post all 10 of them, and it will pull a picture off of each one because, as you know, visual is very important. So when you're tweeting, make sure you're attaching a photo. Well, the beauty of using Juice, it does the photo for you. It does all the work. Really, you just can scan the article, make sure it's something you want to share, hit the share button. I use Buffer for all of my scheduling, so it integrates really well with Buffer. So, and that's how I do all of these. Feedly integrates with Buffer and also Nuzzle. So all of that works together because I have my my Buffer set up to post 18 times a day. And I know some of you are going, oh my God, 18 times a day is crazy. That's not for everybody. People know me as the person that, I should back up, I should say person, the cool chick, right, that puts out really great content about social media and especially Twitter. So when I'm out looking for this content, these are the different platforms I'm using. And I could sit here right now and spend 10 minutes on my phone and get about a good 6, 7, 8 articles and schedule them out in my Buffer. Like, it's that quick and easy. So you can try all of these. I understand it's not for everybody. What works for me may not work for you, but this is the system I'm using. You can try it. My most recent podcast episode, if you want to go check out my podcast, the link, I have it set up on Bitly, so it's bit.ly/TwitterSmarter, and that'll take you over to iTunes. You can also listen in SoundCloud. If you go look at my most recent podcast episode, it's with Katerina Petropoulou. She's with a company in the Netherlands called Twitter Counter.
It has a chat once a week, and they actually tag us, the ones that are kind of regulars, and they tag us, hey, come to the Flipboard chat. So that's kind of cool. So I like that too, because it's sort of a notification of a event for me, in there. So I do like that. So video, yes.
And then we'll be done.
Okay. So on your phone, you are able to take a video up to 30 seconds on Twitter. And it's a feature that came out earlier this year. I think it was like the end of January or beginning of February. And it's a really cool way to do customer service or to engage at a whole new level. Let me give you the example. So yesterday, I'm a multitasker. So yesterday, I'm walking my dog literally 30 minutes before the Twitter Smarter Twitter chat. And I'm out there walking, and I'm walking along the bayou, so I'm not anywhere where I would be harmed if I was looking at my phone at the same time. So I was looking at Twitter, and I saw some people tweeting me, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna make a little video. I know I'm just, wearing a baseball hat, walking my dog, not super attractive, but I thought it's a great way to connect. And so I just turned the phone on me, hit the little button, and said, hey, thank you so much for whatever, great to talk, to make them feel special, because it's incredibly personalized and people love that. Not everybody will do it, because with women, we're always like, wait a minute, I gotta fix my hair, I gotta put some makeup on. It's like when it comes to us being on Meerkat and Periscope and now Blab, we all are all about making sure we look right. Well, you know what? Just use it. These are great tools, and this Twitter video is pretty amazing. I mean, if you want to take your connections to a whole new level, play around with it, you can just do 2 or 3 seconds like, hey, great to meet you too. Done.
And you don't want to do them for everyone, because I actually had a guy do that for me, which was really cool, but then I went to his feed and it was like, all these videos. I'm like, yeah. So, I mean, then you don't feel so special anymore. No, it's all good. I mean, it was really cool. I'm just saying, in moderation, right? So we are at the end of our hour. I mean, we're actually kind of over. And what I want to do is just thank Madeline for coming and speaking with us today. Could you guys do that? She's amazing. Yeah. So thank you guys that are out there so patiently waiting, because we started late today on the feed on Google Hangouts on Air. And we will be coming back next week, so you can actually get them off. But in the meanwhile, here in this